to my channel, subscribe to the best YouTube channel ever. Quick show you of my outfit. This is from high school. Yes, I still fit the clothes that I used to wear. And it's like 80 degrees today. So, about to go train, go to the gym. But I have this really, one of my training shirts from when I used to dance at school. And then I have super short shorts. Are you ready? Okay. Super short shorts for the internet. I feel like a military girl right now. I can flex for the internet. Had to close the door. Okay. All right. So my first tip when it comes to building muscle tissue, with or without super supplements, is obviously what everyone knows, which is consistency. So if you are not going to be consistent, even if you do 1 day a week, you can still build muscle, especially if you're new to working out. But you have to be consistent with your training. That's very important. People often underestimate the power of consistency. Think of it like in terms of finance and with money, as I talk about in my other videos. Compound interest, if you compound the money over time, it grows much more effectively than if you buy like penny stocks and something like that, and you're constantly trying to gamble with your money. You're not going to build your wealth that way. You're going to want to invest over time and be consistent over time with your money, right? Same thing with fitness. Okay, you want to be consistent with your training. Next tip on tips and tricks to build muscle is to look into getting some creatine. So creatine is an over-the-counter supplement that you can get from your local vitamin store. Personally, I used it literally for like a week, not even that, barely. So I can't really sit here and say it works, although there is a lot of research that supports how effective it is to your training. So if you want to use a supplement that is affordable, you can look into getting creatine. You just add it to your water and then drink it daily. And it does apparently help with strength and some muscle tissue, but it won't be substantial. I mean, it's not going to be like, grand, but it can definitely help if you are interested in going down that road. That leads into the conversation of super supplements. So super supplements is the casual way of saying a word that I'm not going to use, but you know what I'm talking about. And that is obviously another avenue. So you can go to a doctor, get into hormone replacement therapy, and get it prescribed to you. If you are a man, if you are a woman, it's going to be much more difficult. So, and technically, a lot of people are going through what's called hormone replacement therapy, HRT, which is prescribed oftentimes to men nowadays because a lot of them can't seem to, their sperm count is low for whatever reason, usually due to the genetics and or the food, because a lot of people are eating processed food, and processed food does affect your DNA. If your food affects your DNA, your genetics. So how you eat is gonna, if you choose to produce offspring and to reproduce, your offspring is going to carry those same genes that was affected from your lifestyle and your nutrition. This is why it's really important. If you want to reproduce, you're going to want to consider the types of foods that you're eating, because the foods that you're eating affect your brain, how quickly you can learn, your skin, your nails, your aesthetics even. So super important. Okay, the saying that you are what you eat is very, very accurate. Another tip for building muscle tissue as quickly as possible is to get your sleep. Okay, so I talk about sleep several times in my other videos. When you're under stress, if you look at the special operations, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, okay, they are taught how to breathe and function under stress. Okay, when you're at war, you have to learn how to breathe and to handle yourself so that you can go and fight. Whether you're at MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you have to learn how to breathe to contain yourself so you can perform at your best. When you're working out and with your life in general, you have to learn how to manage your stress, because if you're always stressed out, it's going to be very hard for you to build muscle. Now, you may be thinking, oh, well, Yelena, I have a lot of things going on in my life. I work 80 hours a week. Well, I'll tell you this. Life can be hard. It can be tough. Life can be a challenge, and life is going to throw you curveballs. You're going to have to learn how to adapt. Okay, there's really the only thing that you can control is your attitude. Okay, so the things that are going to come your way, they're going to push you down. You have to have the tenacity to keep getting back up. Okay, I'm going to make a video talking about talent versus tenacity. Okay, so regardless of what you've been through, regardless of your past, what you did right, what you did wrong, maybe you made some mistakes, that's all a part of being human. But if you have the tenacity to keep getting back up, to keep showing up, despite the struggles and the pushbacks that you've had, okay, if you have that tenacity, then you, in my opinion, will always win. Now, sometimes there's this thing, I talk about it in my other videos, quantum physics, okay, manifestation. You can work so hard, but if you don't have a direction and you're not working towards making opportunities for yourself, then you're just working hard to work hard. Okay, so you want to work hard with a plan and a vision in your life. Okay, because if you're just working hard just to work hard, you're not going to get anywhere. You want to work hard with the strategy. Okay, that's the key word: strategy. Strategize and understand that I do believe that you can have anything you want in life, but you can't have everything you want. Okay, so if you want to build muscle, you want to take it to the extreme, you want to take a super supplements, that's a personal decision to have that strategy and that intention behind your workouts. Okay, because this leads to my next point. Okay, another trick is to have a plan and to know why you're doing what you're doing. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing and you're just doing it just to do it, you're just wasting your time. So have a plan, have a strategy. And that can lead to hiring possibly a personal trainer, hiring a coach, hiring somebody to help you and to give you some sort of structure. So for example, with me, if you want to work with me, you can go ahead and email me or message me on Instagram and we can, talk about that. But if you can invest in a qualified trainer or qualified person that is where you are or where you want to be, then it's going to be much easier for you to get there. Tip and tricks is, hold on, I need to do a quick bicep flex for the internet. I also have my matching socks. Enough for the video. Okay, my last tip and trick is to cut out or completely reduce the amount of alcohol or mainly the alcohol that you're using. Okay, because alcohol, it's only going to slow you down. It's not going to give you any results in your muscle tissue. Now, there's a lot of people in the industry of fitness that drink and that lift a lot. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and act, ignorant to that fact, because it's just the reality here. However, that doesn't make it okay for you to do it too. Okay, I talk about this in one of my other videos, like if the president or your best friend jumped off a bridge, does that make it okay for you to jump off a bridge? No, it doesn't. Why would you go jump off a bridge unless you, for whatever reason? Okay, like just because somebody does something doesn't mean it's okay for you to do. They choose to drink. Now, like I mentioned in my other videos, I mentioned it here and there. I don't drink. I never drink. I drink like a wine at church. But yeah, I've grown up seeing what it does to people. And I made that decision very early on that I am going to be clean. Okay, so that's like, no, So that's a personal decision. I just find, to be quite frank, I don't see the point. So like, if you're just going to get intoxicated to just forget about your problems, then maybe you need to work on your problems or go and work out. It's going to hurt you. So if you're really serious about building muscle or just getting fit and getting healthier mentally, physically, then you got to stop alcohol. So, and if your friends are pressuring you, they're not your real friends to begin with. So those are my tips and tricks. Muscle building, the main thing that it comes down to is you have to be consistent. And you have to find something that works for you. So maybe you like military style workouts, maybe you like CrossFit. Maybe you like MMA. Maybe you like running. Maybe you like powerlifting. Maybe you like dancing. Okay, whatever it may be. You want to find something that suits your lifestyle, suits your, what you genuinely enjoy. and then stick to that, okay? Because if you stick to that, everything, it's going to be much easier to stick with it. Now, if you don't like lifting, you don't like going to the gym and pumping, your muscle, you can find creative ways to incorporate that. So maybe do like a CrossFit, or maybe do HIIT training, like cross training.